All right, we can do a little bit of impromptu Q&A if you guys just want to chill and talk for a little bit, all right? I'm not going to record this for YouTube. There's no reason. It's only going to be like 10, 15 minutes long. What's my favorite Italian dish ever? I mean, I love a lot of Italian food, but it's got to be East Coast pizza. I miss the East Coast pizza from back home. Vinny's Pizza, or even there was a couple other places around that where I used to live that was really, really good. And I'm very disappointed that there's just nowhere out here that really matches it. There's a few pizzas that are good. I like the Rock Wood Fire Oven Pizza. There is a place in downtown Seattle called Rocco's Pizza that's really good. But nothing really hits that back home. My hair is completely screwed up. Look at this. Nothing hits that back home feeling. You know what I mean? It's all very different out here. What's up, Futo7? Good evening. Game Checker did another $10 tip. Thank you, Game Checker. I appreciate all your support again. And again, I got to say, Game Checker, the MVP, even though, yes, there was Hiseo and Elvish Doomsayer and Kazuya and earlier to that, there was Q Hamtaro and Leo and Riley and CM Fool. I appreciate all of you. But really, it is Game Checker who's the MVP of these Kirby streams. And I really appreciate that. If it wasn't for Game Checker, they'd be nearly dead, you know, for support-wise. Have a good night, Jade. So Game Checker did a $10 tip. He says, nice victory. It's true you get a second ending upon completing World 8, but there's still one more ending after that. Getting there is going to be harder and harder. Should be just one more stream for the final challenge. All right, so next stream, we beat World 8, and then there's another special challenge at the end, which is awesome. Juan Carlos did the super chat saying there's only 10 minutes left of Kirby. According to Game Checker, who literally just said that, he says that's incorrect, that there's more after that for the third and final ending. So you're got two people contradicting each other right there. And Chipe just tipped $1.69, says hello. What's going on, Chipe? So with that, at least we get the Gunner glasses tonight. Thank you, Chipe. Appreciate that. Neon says, what's your favorite type of burger? Juicy or dry? Why would anyone like a dry burger? Come on now. Medium rare or medium is how I like a burger if you're going to get it at like a restaurant or make it yourself. Yeah, you go to fast food, they're always going to do it well done because they don't want to get sued for undercooked meat, but I like mine medium at the, you know, nice pink juicy center. Wanderer says, do I see myself playing Kirby Star Allies at some point? The mainline 2D game for the Switch, like Forgotten Land, starts easy, gets tougher in post-game. I don't know when it came out. I don't think there's any demand for it. I played this one because it was brand new, and even now, as you guys can see, sadly, interest really was not able to be retained. We have about the same 200 people every stream, and sadly, the support's just not there. So I think Kirby was a good outing for now for variety, but I don't think I'll be doing another Kirby anytime soon. Do the rich have too much power? Yes. There's a nice general answer for you. Yes. Game Tracker says that he's a huge Kirby fan, and interacting with me during this playthrough has been one of his best Kirby games. Has been really fun. I really appreciate you interacting and helping and supporting as well, sir. I hope you really you understand how much I appreciate that. It's been great. Do I ever plan on getting a tattoo? No, I'm 40 years old. I'm not getting a tattoo at this point. It's far past the time when I would be doing something like that. Would Kirby have done better if Elden Ring wasn't going on? You know, I don't know. I asked myself that question about a lot of games in the last 2 months, right? Would Dying Light 2 have done better? Would Horizon Forbidden West have done better? Would Ghostwire Tokyo have done better? If there was nothing else like Elden Ring to everyone to demand for me to be playing constantly, would those things have been done better? Maybe. Maybe. But we don't know. It's a what if. It's a big what if scenario. There's really no point, right? Yeah. If you ever moved to DC, would I adopt you? I don't live in Washington, DC, so no. That's a really silly question. There's too many Elden Ringers? That's right, Junko. Okay. I didn't get banned on Twitch. I was not banned on Twitch. That's misinformation. Any picks for the NBA Finals? Yes, I think that the best team is going to win the Finals. Whichever that may be, I think they're going to win. There's not going to be any crappy teams winning the NBA Finals this year. I'm calling that right now. Would I ever want to visit Italy if I had enough money to do so? Yes. Don't know if I'll ever be able to do that in my life, but yes. Lord Snowdove says, you know, Elden Ring is really good, but I'm glad you're doing other games alongside it and not just completely focused on it. Yeah, and you know, it's funny because as I've been telling you guys, I've been watching other content creators play Elden Ring, and there's some that are like me who, like, they're only going to play it once because they know it's so long, so they're trying to do as much as they can and do variety. Others are literally like, well, this is my first run, I turbo through the game, and I am doing as much content as I can find, but they're really not making an effort to make that playthrough special to their viewers. They're like, oh, I have one weapon that I just leveled up the whole game, and I use that for the entirety of the game, all 100 hours, clobbering people with a giant hammer or a giant sword or whatever, and I'm like, man, that's kind of boring. Even for me, like, I don't want to use the same weapon the whole game, and a lot of content creators are of that impression that they're going to play it 10 times, so the first time doesn't matter, and then they do the special challenge runs after. Me, I'm the opposite. I'm trying to make it entertaining for you guys, no summons, a variety of weapons, doing all the content, right? It's tough. It's hard to really find that perfect balance of a good playthrough to do of Elden Ring, because it's such a weird game in that regard. Was there a sport I was ever really good at? Oh, badminton. I was very good at badminton. What's my favorite ice cream flavor? Anything chocolate fudgy. Or Anything that has like a fudge ripple, or I also like mint chocolate chip. Okay. Ryan Wilson cannot stop binge watching my Elden Ring playthrough. King says, what do my in-laws think of my work? Why don't you ask them? King Trigger says, that's like using one ability all game in Kirby. Why would you do that? I'm not kidding. I'm watching one particular content creator who did that. Like, they really liked one weapon and just stuck with it the whole game. I'm watching two other guys, and they're doing different. They're like, oh, I'm gonna go. One guy's a Dex build, and the reason I really like that is I'm not Dex build in the game, so I'm getting to see like the Uchigatana and Roger's Rapier and these fast weapons being used, and I didn't get to see that the whole playthrough because I haven't been doing that, and that's good variety for me to see that utilized, and it kind of gives me ideas maybe if I play it in the future or something that I would want to do, right? But yeah, I just don't understand the whole mentality. I just want to get through this game, so I'm gonna pound it with one weapon the entire game, and it's boring as shit after like 20 hours of watching it. You're like, dude, it's the same shit again? You're never gonna change? I don't know. Everyone, like I said, Elden Ring is one of those games, everyone seems to have attacked it in a different way because of the length and how unique it is compared to other FromSoft games. Have you ever made homemade pasta? No, I've never made my own pasta. Nope. Eternal is going to be cardio. He says, if I start working out, as I said, I probably will when I'm getting older, will be cardio. It's going to start with cardio, and then maybe if I want to do the weights, the problem is with weights, I have a back injury, and I have exacerbated it. I've had issues with numbness and pain. If I start lifting weights, I have potential to hurt myself again, as opposed to just cardio, it's minimal risk, you see? So it's going to be mostly cardio, if anything. Get this rolls of stupid fat off of me that I don't need. All this extra weight that means nothing, and fucking burn it right off, you know? What is the number one game I want to replay? I don't have one. No, I can't answer that. What recommendations would I give to other streamers about finding things to talk about? I tried it, but I don't know what to say a lot of times. It's hard. You know, for me, I'm a gamer, so I try to find game topics to talk about every morning, right? I look for the gaming news every morning. And on top of that, I just let my audience guide me with what they want to talk about. And, you know, there's some things I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about politics or religion and stuff like that. But in general, I just let it roll, you know? I have DDP Yoga, the system, somewhere in the closet there. I had it at one point. I never messed with it because my back basically got better over time after I moved, so I never really needed it. I could try it someday, but I don't know. I bought the system a long time ago. I never did anything with it. Is Mighty Storm Sentinel a good team? Yes. And Marvel vs. Capcom 2, that's a great team. Good evening, Entitled Review. What's the next big release I'm looking forward to? I can't even answer that because we have no release dates for anything this year. Seriously. There's like no release dates for any of the big games. You know that there's games I'm interested in. I definitely am interested in the new God of War, right? I want to know when that's coming out. Outside of that, I don't even know what else is coming out this year. I have zero idea. I haven't looked at a game schedule of it. Nothing. There's like there's nothing. We're waiting for all these events, digital events to happen to give us the release dates, right? Right now, it's such a big question mark, a big empty space. Oh, I know. I know you got to start slow with working out. You got to start slow, especially with cardio. You don't want to overdo it and have a fucking heart attack. You got to do it like real slow so your body's used to doing it, and then you can increase and increase. I know, it's a slow increase. Quarry comes out in June. Yep, I'm aware of that. It's the horror game. Should be good. I don't even know what Silk Song is. Never heard of it. Brandon says, I'm impressed you have so much to say just on your own. I've done it with other people, so I have someone to talk with. On my own, I'm pretty much silent. It takes a lot of practice. It really does. It takes a lot of practice. Keep in mind, I've been doing this for 14 years. And I talked in front of a camera before I talked in front of the live audience for a good 5 years, 6 years. 5 years, not even. Probably 4.5, because I started in 2008. I started live streaming in early 2013. So, about 4 years where I was practicing in front of a camera and I didn't have that live audience. And then when the live audience kicked in, it definitely felt like a different vibe for sure. Like, oh man, now we got different people. They're interacting with me. They're talking to me right away. It was very different. You guys, I've been to Chicago. I've not had the Chicago-style dog. I know what it is. That's the one that has the pickle and the tomato. Sounds good. I would actually probably like it. But I've never actually had the Chicago-style dog to my recollection. But I've been to Chicago before a couple times. What was my favorite thing about living in Connecticut and Washington now? In Connecticut, the food, because tons of Italian food and seafood. And there was a zoo there that was really awesome called Bearsley Zoo that I love going to at least once a year. And living near my family members, my parents, notably. You know, before then there were more, but now it's just my parents who are left. So all that was cool. You know, there was a ton of negatives about Connecticut. Here in Washington, the fact that we got a moderate weather, so it's not insanely cold or insanely hot for most of the year. Last year was an exception where we had like a 2-week heat wave that was nuts. But outside of that, the moderate weather is beautiful. And the fact that in Washington State, I can literally have everything that I need within a small radius. Excuse me. In Connecticut, it wasn't like that. In Connecticut, it was like if I needed certain things, I had to drive and go out of my way. And here, it's like everything is nearby, which is weird because also the population here is way less than it was in Connecticut. There's less people, but more to do. I know that sounds weird. To give you some perspective, in Connecticut, half the time I wanted to do anything fun, I had to drive a ways to do it. Here in Washington State, I've lived here for almost 8 years. I've never even driven on the highway. I don't need to. Everything I want to do is within like 45 minutes to an hour driving on regular roads, and I never had to hit the highway because of it. How crazy is that, right? King, thank you for the super chat. You're right, I did miss it. I saw it pop up, but I didn't read it. What was it? He's talking about I did 25 push-ups. You're talking about something that happened like the middle of last year that was a joke. Congratulations. Thanks for the super chat. Oh, of course, fruits. You're right. You're absolutely right. Just changing your diet and eating better, you can lose weight. Absolutely, that's the truth. Haseo says, what I consider doing a best and worst series of previous console generations because we've played many different consoles. I mean, if we had time for special events, I would do them. If we had like tons of dead time with no games that were interesting, the thing is, I'm known as a guy who plays games and streams them. I'm not a guy who makes offline content with edited stuff. Like what you're talking about. Oh, would I do a countdown of consoles? Sure, but when would I do it? Right? Like, right now, people want to see me play WWE. They want to see me play the Game Pass games that I started and didn't continue. They want to see me do this, see me do that. It's like, if I do these one-off weird events and things that people ask for, I'll never get to that. You know what I'm saying? What's the best meal I've ever had? I have no idea. I don't live my life in absolutes. For example, people say, what's your favorite food? Don't have one. Well, what do you like? Oh, well, I like a good East Coast style pizza. I like a good seafood dish with either shrimp or some kind of fish like salmon. Like I like a blackened salmon. I like roasted chicken, like a barbecue slow roast chicken, or certain barbecue meats I really like. So I could sit here and I can outline to you different kinds of meals that I like. Well, what do you like the most? I don't. I like everything in moderation so that I have things enough that I don't get tired of them, and therefore I don't like one thing over another. I just like to rotate between the things I like. I don't have an ultimate, I like this over this over this. I don't rank meals like that. I don't live my life in a ranking system of absolutes. I don't know why people do that, honestly. Why do I love Paul Phoenix and Tekken so much? Honestly, because when Tekken began, Paul Phoenix played more like a Street Fighter character. Seriously, like he had moves that kind of made more sense compared to Street Fighter. Even though, admittedly, no one in Tekken really plays like Ryu or Ken or anything like that. I just thought that like he had a rounded motion where he did the dash punch like a fireball motion, and I like that he had moves that could interrupt from mid-screen, which is actually what you would do in Street Fighter. You would use footsies and normals to interrupt from mid-screen and stuff like that to do basic combos. So I basically learned the basics of Tekken by picking a more simple character, and then as I played longer, I picked more complex characters like Lei Wulong and King, and then eventually, you know, Kazuya and characters like that. I really liked Heihachi in Tekken 3. But I felt like Paul was a basic enough character that I could implement basics of fighting games to learn the game, and then I went off and branched myself off to more complex characters afterward. Excuse me. Wild Arms is great, Lord Snowda. He says if you get the new PlayStation Plus, and if this is on it, you should play Wild Arms. Wild Arms is a great game, but man, does it look terrible. Like, even by the modern graphics at the time, I thought the graphics weren't good. The music was great, the gameplay elements were great, the story was good, but the graphics look shitty. I don't know if anyone would even stand watching me play the game because the graphics are so bad. That's one of the downfalls of an early 2D versus an early 3D RPG on PlayStation. The 2D games, because they were hand-drawn art, even if it's kind of pixelated, the art still holds up. Like, I could probably play Suikoden 1 and 2, or Suikoden, however you pronounce it, and the graphics wouldn't be that bad because it's hand-drawn art. You go and play Wild Arms 1, it's like, oh my god, what are those abominations on the screen? These, like, low-res, no-detail, pixelated monsters. You know what I mean? Like, they don't look good anymore. And I think that was some of the downfall when they wanted to make everything 3D, that it kind of backfired for longevity purposes. My favorite Sonic games are Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic CD, and Sonic Mania. I did not know there was a PS2 remake of the original Wild Arms. I never knew that. Nope. Do you think I'd ever participate in EVO ever again? The only chance there would ever be for me to participate in EVO is that my wife and I just decided to go to Vegas for a vacation and timed it at the same time EVO was there, and the most I would spend is like half a day. I would not be wasting my time and money to go to a fucking game tournament like that ever again. It's a waste of time. I'm 40 years old. It's the last thing I want to do with my time. Right now, I want to be able to spend time with my wife doing fun stuff, unique stuff. I've been there and done that. I've done fucking Street Fighter till I was blue in the face and tired of it. I don't really care about it anymore. Even if it was like the ultimate invitational Super Turbo tournament, we want the best of the best, all on arcade cabinet, pristine controls, and you're going to record and broadcast it live across the internet for the world to see, the final Super Turbo tournament ever, I still probably wouldn't care. I'm not in love with it anymore. I'm not. I don't have a favorite video game. See, I don't deal in absolutes. I do not deal in absolutes. I'm not that kind of person. Never was. If you were to ask me what's your favorite platformer of all time, I would say Super Mario World. What's your favorite fighting game of all time? Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. But if you say what's your favorite game of all time, don't have one. Do I still stay up till 2 p.m.? Yes, I stay awake till 2 p.m. and then I go right to sleep. What's my favorite question to be asked in Q&A? This one. There you go. All right, guys, we're running out of time anyway. I just wanted to kill a little bit more time. Guys, thanks for a good stream. It looks like we will have one more Kirby stream. All right, so here's the deal. Tomorrow, Elden Ring. Now, this should be a good stream, and here's why. New build that I just started to get used to. I'm in the midst of a dungeon where I'm fighting a cool double boss. After that, we're exploring the rest of the northeast of the map. I think there's a legacy dungeon we need to do. There's good stuff coming, good challenging stuff coming in the next Elden Ring stream tomorrow. I'm actually looking forward to it a lot. I think it's going to be a really good stream, so I hope you'll join me for that tomorrow morning, okay? Tomorrow night, it is Skyrim After Hours, continuing with the Dark Brotherhood quest line. It's been good so far, and I'm looking forward to more of that. So tomorrow should be a really chill stream, okay? Now, that's Thursday, okay? Friday, it's going to be more Lego Star Wars paired with Street Fighter on Friday night. I want to clarify this. Friday will not be Kirby. Friday's Friday Night Fights, old school Street Fighter. So that means Saturday, it's going to be more Elden Ring and likely the conclusion of Kirby on the late stream. All right, I want to make sure you guys knew that, so it wasn't you're coming back in 2 days like, where the hell's Kirby? It should probably be Saturday night. Unless things change, as I already explained on this stream, I always post up my schedule either right here on DSP Gaming on the community tab, or you can follow me on Twitter at @TheyCallMeDSP. Either way, you're going to get my updated schedule every night I post it up. All right, guys? Guys, thank you so very much. Hope you guys have a good evening. Thank you for chilling with me, and thank you for your support tonight. I'll see you tomorrow for Elden Ring and Skyrim. All right, peace out. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.